GraphsPrims algorithm will generate a minimum spanning tree, and a minimum spanning tree is a minimum weight representation of a graph. And by minimum weight, I'm talking about the sum of all the edges added up. So for prims, we're gonna use general graph search, and we're gonna use a priority queue that is sorted based on edge weights. So queue sorted based on edge weights. So from our starting node, we're going to start with A. We're going to make a priority queue. And we're going to put our starting node inside. Okay. And this is just general graph search algorithm. So first thing we're going to do is, while there's still elements inside the queue, we're going to pop it out. Okay. And we're going to look at each of its edges. So we can travel to C, we can travel to D, or we can travel to B. And the priority queue is going to sort them based on edge weights. So we can go to C, so we can go to D with cost 1. And that's this edge here. We can go to B with cost 2. Or we can go to C with cost 3. Cool. So in general graph search algorithm, we've added all the neighbors of A. So now we're done with A. And it's also added to the visited list. So if we're redrawing our minimum spanning tree, let's say here's A. We're going to add more to it, but that's the start of our minimum spanning tree. So we loop back around, pop out D. So so we choose this edge here. Like that's the minimum available from A. So we're going to do the same thing, process all the edges. We don't have to add A1 because that's already been visited, but we now have new edge available to us, C3 and E4. Now note that, and F, we can get to F with weight 1. So note that I can't just add it all to the end. This is a priority queue, so it has to be sorted based on weights. So instead of redrawing the queue, I'm just going to add add F1 where it's supposed to go. F1. Okay. So now D has been processed. So we have edges with this, all of these edges available to us. So we pop the next element out of the priority queue. We have visited F. So we take this DF edge here. Now let's go ahead and label these edges as we go along. So this is the first edge I select. This is the second edge I select. So from F, I have D. I can get to D with weight 1, but that's already been visited, so I don't need to add it. Or I can get to G with weight 2. So if I'm adding that into my queue, there may be discrepancy on how you where you want to add it. There's already something with weight 2 inside, so let's say it's going to get sorted after. So our new priority queue is going to look like B2 and G2. So now we've added all the children of F, so we're done with that. Pop the next out. So now we're at B. So we have selected this edge. So this is edge. This is the third edge that we've selected. Okay. So I guess I haven't been keeping track of it, but if we're drawing our tree as I go along, A is connected to D. D is connected to F. And then now A is connected to B. So these are the edges that we've selected from the tree so far. So now I'm at B, and I can add edge I can get to A with cost 2, or I can get to G with cost 4. but we've already visited A, so I have to add B4 to this list. So B4 goes to the end of the queue. So we're done with B. Now I can pop out the next element, G2. So that was the edge coming from F. So I can select this edge, and this is the fourth edge that I've selected. So I can add this to the graph, and that goes to G. And now I have to add all the neighbors of G. This edge has already been visited, but this edge is not, so we put in B4. It's already there, but for completeness, it's not in our B is not in our B is in our visited list. Never mind. So we don't have to add it, so we won't. Cool. So G doesn't have any unvisited neighbors. So all we have left are C and E. So the next thing we pop out of the list is C3, and that was the edge coming from A. So we're going to select this edge here. So we can add C to our tree. Now we have to add all the neighbors. We can get to D with cost 3, but that node's already been, or that vertex has already been visited, so we don't have to add that. Cool. So pop out the next. We pop out C. C has already been visited, and it's already included inside our minimum spanning tree, so we don't need to visit it again. And then we pop out E4. So that was the edge coming from D. So this is the 5th and 6th edge that we're selecting. So you can see, if I add up all these weights, 3, 1, 2, 4. So that's going to be 6 plus 7. So my minimum weight that I can represent this graph is choosing the minimum number of edges to include every vertex is going to be have weight 13, and that's how you do prims.